It's sit down. Thank you. Hello, friends. It's so good you're with me here today at the First Church of the Extroverts, aka Club ENTP. And I'm the pastor, Dapperoo of the Preacher. Can I get an amen? Get on up. Now get on down. Now sit down. Sit. There you go. There you go. Today, friends, we're here to type Jesus, to know where he is on the MBTI personality spectrum. Not that Hollywood good-looking Jesus, you know, with the long hair and the hippie-looking guy. Not him, but the real Yeshua from the Bible. But first, let me ask a question of you all, friends. Does God deserve a Porsche? Let me be more specific. Does God deserve a candy apple red 911 Turbo S Porsche? Why, yes. Yes, he does. And do you know why he deserves a candy apple red Porsche 911 Turbo S convertible with imported diamond tucked Corinthian leather interior? Because he's been real good. That's right.
Amen.
And so have I. And that's why God has asked me to drive it for him. Can I get an amen? Get on up. Get on up. Hallelujah. Pass the plates. Brothers and sisters, give deed for the Lord. The insurance alone is more than your house payment. So be a cheerful giver. And don't rob the Lord of what he deserves. So, yes, can I get an amen? Keep passing that plate. Hey, where's that squirrel? Squirrel, somebody get that squirrel out of here. I want that squirrel out of here. All right. I'm actually in disguise. I'm not Dapperoo the Preacher. I'm Dapperoo the Crusher. And we are here today to type the real Jesus using the Old King James Bible to determine the personality type of the Christ. So stay tuned for the next episode where we're going to be typing the Antichrist. Bet you can't guess what type he is. But let's start here. Whether or not he was an extrovert the way Hollywood portrays Jesus to be. The answer is very clear. He wasn't. Large groups actually took energy out of him, and he was very quiet and withdrew himself on many occasions from these large crowds. And he always prayed alone, and once for 40 days. So he actually took a vacation from the disciples, so he was a total introvert. The disciples were afraid of him also. They wouldn't even ask him any questions hardly ever, and they couldn't understand him because he was feared, and he spoke in riddles. So, which leads us to the next point. Was he a sensory or was he an intuitive? And he never spoke plainly during the entire 3.5 years of his ministry. He only spoke using riddles and parables and abstract ideas to tell stories. It was only towards the end when he knew that his disciples desired to ask him the meaning of a parable that he had told earlier. When he explained it to them plainly, they then knew that he was the Christ. And he finally spoke to them, and it made perfect sense. Also, he was creative. He invented a new kind of yoke that was harnessed around the beasts of burden that was easy on them. And then, was he a feeler or was he a thinker? Now, he felt things a lot more deeply than most people, even to the point of tears, but he was also highly logical. And he rarely made decisions based upon emotion, but only truth and logic. So he was a thinker. And finally, was he a judger type or was he a perceptive? And he actually said himself that he did not come to judge the world, but it goes much deeper than that. He was against all traditions. He didn't like to stick to the plan. He would often change in the middle of a course, in the middle of a journey, and then he would just kind of make up where they were going to go from there. In fact, he marched to the beat of a different drum, and he condemned all organized religion of the day. He couldn't conform to society, So that makes him a perceptive INTP. So what do you think? Write your comments below about this or anything else you wish to discuss about the show, and maybe I'll read your comment on the next episode. So remember to stay tuned till the end of each show, because that's when I read viewer mail. But first, let's give a warm welcome to my next guest, very special guest, all the way from Thailand. Give a warm Club ENTP welcome to Kat NiCH.
Hello, Kat, and thank you for joining us today. I discovered you after we both entered the Frank James Challenge to send in a 60-second or less video saying as much as we could about ourselves, and then he was going to attempt to type us. Well, I got a hold of you before Frank James could, and I watched your video and concluded that you are, in fact, INFJ. So today I'm going to explain how I typed you in only 45 seconds, and actually it was super easy, barely an inconvenience. So very nice to have you here all the way from Thailand. It's very nice to see you. How are you doing today, Kat?
Hi, from Thailand. I'm Kat. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to see you. It's the same Kat video, the same wonderful smile, warm in INFJ fashion. Very, very nice to meet you and on the show. And it was about 7 weeks ago that you and I had started talking about on each other's videos. That was very interesting, and I asked you on my show. So I also discovered in that time, learning more about your type, that you tend to be Sigma females. In fact, some reports are that all INFJ females are in fact Sigma females. Have you heard that rumor?
Yeah, I have heard about that, but to be honest, I don't dig it in about it, so maybe it's good and have some opportunity to discuss about it.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you're here. I can ask you some things, like for instance, and I already know this is true about you, but what would you say, how is your attitude towards social media? Do you spend a lot of time on social media?
No, not really. I do have Facebook, okay, Messenger, what else? Instagram. Probably that's it, really. Like, I have them, but I am not actively posting anything so much on there, and I only use it when I really need it to post something, but mostly keep things so private and grounded. Yeah.
Right. Which is another reason why I'm so honored to have you on the show. I know that you are a very private person, and that this is something that is a bit out of your ordinary.
Yeah. You're welcome.
Now, another thing is, I noticed that INFJ females who are also Sigma females, they have a high level of self-sufficiency. You're extremely independent and self-sufficient. Would you say that's true?
Yeah, I would consider myself very, very independent individual. Like, I like to think a lot of things, like about, I don't know, but that's so true. Yeah, I would say, I'm going to make it short that way. That's so true. Yeah.
Right. And now there's also another, I would say, qualification for a Sigma female, and that is that you're never settled in relationships. So, for instance, you have very high standards in finding a soulmate. Is that accurate?
Yeah, very. But it's kind of like not quite so justice to say that not settle down with anyone. I think it's probably because we have very high standard. When it comes to that, it comes to the point where it's so hard to find someone who really understands us the way we are. We're very complex. but in a way that we are not shallow people. We like to talk deep about things, and seems like not many people these days will understand that point. And we kind of like believe in the system where we believe like a moral thing, decent people to talk. It's more about to get to know people, the person who they are.
Mhm.
Yeah, and it's so hard to find that person, you know. So it's kind of like if we see things that it's not going to work, then why waste time, you know,
Right.
until we find the person that we really see the future with them, or after getting to know, it will take some time for us to open up with someone. But
Right.
once we open up with them, you know, we kind of like really all in, really.
Right. You play it over each relationship, each person that you meet. You are playing it over in your head to see if it will work, and you run it to the very bitter end, and you realize it's not going to work, and so you end up uh, trying to find a way out of the relationship. Is that factual?
Yeah, kind of, yeah. Like you already see the pattern that it's not going to work, then
Right.
yeah,
I
don't
know.
want to waste time.
Yeah, as an ENTP, I do the same thing. I run through the relationship. Like if I meet someone and I think, oh, this person might be maybe a potential, you know, person I'd be interested. But you look at everything, kind of play it through your mind, and after you get enough information, you realize it's not going to work. And usually, I
Mm.
find that once I find a female is extroverted, it's all over. Sorry, it's not going to work. I'm extroverted enough for the both of us. So, but now also getting into that same line of thinking, it's said that the INFJ Sigma female are super loyal and they don't let their friends down. So you're always there for your friends, always trying to find out new ways of helping them. Would that be accurate?
Yes, that's accurate. I would say that probably most or all of INFJs value that we very loyal, especially when it comes to friends, relationship, family, people who close to us, you know. But in general, we are very loyal. We are very genuine. I believe so. Like we say all the things when we say something,
Mhm.
it comes from our heart. I believe so.
Right.
Yeah. So it's very hard to say that we lie to you this and that, especially when it comes to relationship. You can't fake it.
No fake. There's nothing fake about the INFJ, that's for sure. And also on the personality of the Sigma female uh, could be considered fascinating and mysterious. Now, I'm sure you're not going to label yourself as fascinating or mysterious, but I've known you now 7 weeks. I would say that that's actually very accurate. So we'll skip that one. And the next one, I would say, if you have a high, or I'd say not even that, it would be more of a, do you conform to pop culture or do you tend to not conform to pop culture? For instance, if everyone's buying a certain type of clothing, you're not going to buy it unless it actually makes good sense for you and it's good quality and you see the
Ah,
purpose in it. Is that right?
yeah. I would say that that's so me, you know, like people, when it comes to new iPhone or new trends, or
Mhm.
people like that car because it's in trend. I'm not that type at all. I mean, like I would see and buy something, it's just because I feel like, oh, it's worth it.
Right.
Uh, and yeah, it depends on me. I don't go with the flow with the trends whatsoever. I mean, sometimes I could go with the trends if I see the potential in it, like, oh, if I buy that, it's good because it's good investment or good quality, or some kind, like so many reasons, you know, for that. But mostly I don't get along so good with the trends that people go by the fashion or what people goes by. That it just depends on me. Yeah.
Sigma females, they mean what they say and they say what they mean. Does that describe you?
Yes.
Okay, so
Yes. That
also if
describe me. But also sometimes It depends on situation. Okay, I cannot say that I would be that way all the time with anyone or any situation. I need to look at the situation and that person too. Sometimes you cannot just be so direct about things. Okay,
Right.
sometimes you just need to find the word or anything that make things not so aggressive sound, or depends on the person try to talk to the other way but actually it's the same meaning.
Right.
It depends on situation and people, really. I cannot say that we're going to be so direct with everyone
Right.
because we are the feeler. I feel about
Oh,
how people would think if
yeah.
I try to be compromised when it comes to that. But if it comes to the person that that I feel like I can be direct, and that person did something that kind of like offend me, I would say directly because I didn't care about that person. I would just say it directly and just
Yeah.
boom.
Now here's another one
You understand, right?
I do understand. Yeah. Here's another one that I don't need. I already know the answer to this one. But the Sigma females hate gossip and baseless rumors. Do you have a real sense of disgust and hatred towards gossip?
Oh yeah, that's big time. Yes.
Right. Right.
Yeah,
I do. I know.
I do not like gossip, like
Mm,
chit chatting. I mean, what's the point about that? Why don't you just go and make a research about yourself, what you can do better than having gossip? What's the point? It really
right.
drains my energy when I have to associate with people like that. I'm not talking, I'm Angel. I mean, sometimes my friend can consult me with the gossip that they have some problem like that. But when it comes to the point where like every time you see them, they always come up with these things, I don't want to participate with that situation.
Right. Right. Now, also another thing about Sigma females is they adapt to change without too much drama. So you can put yourself in a completely different situation in life and you adapt fairly quickly. Is that correct? Would that be correct to say about you?
Um, I would say that it's not quite convenient, to be
Well, right.
honest, about to adapt yourself in the new environment. But
Mm,
I could say that we will make our best to try to adapt ourselves in
yeah.
time, and we try to learn about people around us. We try to learn about the new environment. We try to learn where to visit new places,
Mm,
or we will learn. We will try to adapt us. But if you ask me that we're going to feel comfortable at the first place, no, I don't think so.
yeah, I think everyone feels discomfort, but without too much drama, you essentially adapt to it fairly
Hmm. In
fairly.
time, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, ENTPs are noted as being the adapters, so we adapt very quickly. But speaking about people, uh, Sigma females are known to not judge others without knowing them. So do you do you reserve your judgment towards people until you get to know them?
Yeah, I try to see both sides all the time when it comes to people that I don't know well,
Right.
or any situation or people. I try not to judge based on from what I see or the rumors that I have heard, because sometimes you don't really
Wait,
know what's
what rumor?
going on.
I'm kidding. What rumor? Huh? No, anyways, now that's great. So also, I would venture to guess. I'm using the word venture to guess that you as a Sigma female are very. You have a sense of embracing risk and adventure. Is that true of you?
Mm. This is very interesting to me. Risk and adventure.
You embrace risk and adventure. Like you are you're looking to do new things that are adventurous. Would you say that's true? And all adventure has some risk. So
Mm, also depends on situation. Again. Yeah. And when it comes to risk, it sounds scary. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of like scary things to me, in my opinion. But also, we probably would like to learn and try to have less risk situation, risky situation.
Right. Right.
Yeah, like try to learn a lot of things to try to have plan A, plan B in case of sometimes this thing happens, so we can have plan B. We need to plan, organize things in case things happen before we take the risk without any plan. Does that
Right.
make sense?
Yeah, it does actually. So
Yeah.
also, it's known that nobody pushes around a Sigma female. Like you will push back, and some people say that they'll get back at you too. That if you double cross an INFJ Sigma female, that they will get you paid back in probably double.
Well, that's not nice, right?
Right, but you're not always nice, are you?
Yeah. Well, so in that case, you mean like revenge, right?
Revenge, yeah, revenge is a very good word. Yeah. So, are you creative in your revenge tactics? Like when you think of like how you're going to get back?
To me, I think that's so easy, I will
Yeah.
just cut them off.
Mhm. Yeah, that's revenge in itself, right?
Yeah, I don't want to waste my time with people that I feel like they kind of like waste my time in my life.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah.
So, also, the last one I can think of here is that Sigma females are charismatic. They are natural born leaders. You have a lot of charisma. It really came through on your video with Frank James hashtag type with FJ.
I hope you still think that.
Yes, I think you're very charismatic, and also I think you're also a natural born leader because I know that you have given me some really good direction with my show, and you've
Thank
come up with some
you.
amazing ideas, and I really see that you are able to, with your J, you're able to be an amazing leader and push your ideas through effectively because you're a good communicator too, and you are very charismatic. So I probably will have to answer that for you since you probably won't answer that on your own because you don't like to take credit for being a natural born leader. Like, yes,
Okay, thanks in advance.
so I
Okay,
know
so
you.
what is it?
So you are a Sigma female.
Or am I?
You absolutely are.
Oh, so you mean that all the answers that I have provided you, that's so Sigma to you?
Yes, and I am the world's greatest typologist. So that means I'm always right,
Wow,
and science too. So science.
wow, that's interesting. Yeah.
Well, it's actually super easy, fairly an inconvenience. But when you're that good, I could type you in 45 seconds. So that was the first thing that I'd ever seen of you was that video that was only 45 seconds, and your adorable cat Stormy came into the picture. She stormed in on the video,
Yeah,
and
she stole my scene.
no, you were not upstaged in any way. I know that you were going to try to keep on a, a path to explain all these different things about yourself, but at the same time, you decided to just let it be because that was you being natural in the moment. And I'm glad that you did that, and instead of sticking to a script, because it really showed me that one, your demeanor was very introverted, so that was obvious. You have a smile on your face, which shows me that you're probably a feeler and you're feeling very happy and nervous. And then you were very succinct and a matter of fact, and you tried to stick to a plan, but it rather didn't pan out the way you had hoped. But you said, I'm just going to leave it that way, which tells me that you are a judger. So you have a plan, and I noticed that you seem very like a very organized person. Your hair was up in a bun, your glasses were clean, and you were very looking back and forth. So I knew that you were intuitive because your eyes were going back and forth. So you're looking for new information at the moment, and then so it really showed me that you were an INFJ immediately, and that was apparent. And then you wrote back, "Oh, it was that easy?" And so neither one of us have gotten our videos on the Frank James show, but I know that if he sees that, he'll obviously know that you're an INFJ as well. So that was a very interesting experiment. I don't think it was more of a challenge as it was an experiment, because when you looked onto the hashtag type with FJ, all the videos that were entered were, some of them were trying to make it harder for him to know the type. Some of them were really obvious, and he would say, for instance, the ENTP was so not an ENTP. He even said, I'm introverted, and he was very shy, and then he's just like, I know he said he's introverted, but he's an ENTP, that's it, science. And it was so funny because he's trying to say that, I think what he was trying to say was that there's not enough information that you can get from a 60-second long conversation with someone to tell their type. And in fact, it's actually kind of reckless to do so. And so me being an ENTP, I love being reckless. So why wouldn't I want to type everyone on that hashtag type with FJ?
Right. And you're really good. I mean, you can see things so very, very detailed in that point. Like, I mean, I didn't give so much information, but you can pick the little details about my personality besides of just what I can provide by speaking it out. And that's very, very fascinating.
Yeah. Well, I really did have a great time typing people and seeing some of them I was right, some of them I was wrong. But I'm glad that I got your type right, and I'm glad that you came on the show all the way from Thailand. Again, thank you very much. I know you're on the other side of the planet, so you are, to date, my very furthest guest that has been on the show, and I am very grateful for your presence here today. So thank you for sharing with us what it's like to be an INFJ Sigma female, and hope to do this again sometime soon. Thanks for coming on.
Okay. Thank you very much for inviting me. I'm so honored, and yeah, thanks for sharing experience with me, because this is not the thing that I feel comfortable to do, but you really make me feel comfortable. So thanks very much.
Well, and I know that Stormy, your cat, is probably very comfortable too. And so I think that Stormy, I think we should maybe next time, could I type Stormy? Because I believe she's an extrovert, and I think she's a sensory. So, and I'm pretty sure she is a feeler, but I'm not sure if she's a perceptive or a judging type. So we'll have to determine that on the next show. But thank you for coming on, and it was a real pleasure talking to you. Have a great time, and see you.
Thank you.
I hope to see you on the Frank James show. So see you on the flip side. Bye-bye. Oh, and don't forget to stay tuned for what? Stay tuned for viewer mail. Of course, we got to have viewer mail. That's just natural.
Oh, good. You're still here. It's time for viewer mail. Nero Machiavelli writes, "Damn, I love Club ENTP. If I was living in your area, I'd show up with the biggest effing blunt on the planet and smoke it until the whole studio turned foggy. And talk about ancient mysteries and shit. Well, Nero Machiavelli, come by anytime. I'm getting fogged up right now as we speak. Oh wait, that's my steam. Oops. Whoopsie. With a name like Nero Machiavelli, I can already tell we would have a great time arguing for centuries until we both ran out of steam. Kat NiCH writes, "This is epic. Great talk show." What does epic mean, you might be saying? I don't know. Maybe it's an acronym that stands for Extroverted, Perceptive, and Intuitive Comedy. Thank you, Kat NiCH. Hey, that gives me $1 million t-shirt idea. Hashtag epic. ENTP. Yeah, you know me. Speaking of t-shirts, peep my merch with hoodies, coffee mugs, and more. They will make a great gift to that ENTP in your life. Also, it serves as a warning to others, informing them of the pending chaos. It's like a gift and a public service announcement all in one. Moving on. Poeta Campanese writes in and says, "Hey man, how did you get to the conclusion that you are an ENTP?" Conclusion implies an ending, and I have no ending. Except for the one with the tag sewn on it. But that doesn't conclude my answer. The question you should have asked instead is, when did you discover that you were an ENTP? And the answer is, since I was built, silly. Plus, it says I'm an ENTP right on my tag. I would have removed it ages ago, but it says it's illegal to move, just like your mattress. Speaking of endings, this episode is about to conclude, so don't forget to write a comment below so I have something to read at the end of the next episode. Like, subscribe, and ring the bell, or this will happen. Oh, I'm out of here. Don't forget to enjoy the chaos.